Stephen A. Smith was asked about his relationship with Max, and this is what he had to say about it.
What do you say to the people that say they saw the tension between you and Max developing on air before his departure from the show?
I would take full responsibility for that. That's totally my fault.
Okay.
And the reason why it was my fault, because I didn't like working with him, man. It's just that damn simple. I didn't like it.
What's up, guys? It's Bad Decisions, where we watch people make
bad decisions.
It's your boy Sherm.
It's your man Jay. I think the main reason that Stephen A. wanted Max gone is the first thing that he said, which is he just didn't like working with him. It was clear to me early on that their back and forth just didn't seem like friendly banter. You can tell when people have a friendly camaraderie, you know, like a brotherly, like a jab here and there, you know, but it just seemed like Stephen A. just really...
Yeah, it seemed like one person was poking, the other person was trying to stab the person.
Yeah, for real. Like, it was like a low-level disdain I could pick up on. That's before it became blatantly obvious. With that said, I do believe that a component of why Stephen A. wanted Max gone is also because the stats part of it, that the ratings were remaining stagnant, and that Stephen A. wanted to take, I guess, he wanted to see the continuing progression of the show.
I thought the show was stale. I thought that we had flatlined when it came to the public at large, and I'm trying to win. I mean, I didn't want to go from number 1 to number 2 when Skip left.
And I can also see how what he said about Max Kellerman's personality not being what the viewership of First Take relates to.
Yeah.
I know this audience. I know what they're looking for. I know what they need, et cetera, et cetera. At some point, you're going to do what you need to do or you don't. And if you don't do what you need to do, I'm going to get somebody who will.
At the end of the day, business is business. So I can't feel too bad for Max, especially because he had 2 shows after First Take until the mass layoffs happened.
I mean, is this really a surprise to anybody? I'll be honest, I've always been more of a casual sports fan, but ESPN today has seemed just pretty weak. Because here's the thing, I know a lot of people don't like Skip, but one thing you can't deny is that Skip has passion, right?
Yeah. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. is back. Your worst nightmare is back. You're going to have a long season next year.
And the thing about ESPN that I used to really like about it is I actually used to feel like the fans and the commentators were like the same person, right? They said stuff that we were thinking and that we wanted to talk about. Now it seems like ESPN is just a little bit too commercial now.
Yeah.
And it seems like if you want the real commentary that comes with sports, it's pretty much going to come from YouTube. And just to put it right back on Max, I think Max is very talented, but his style doesn't go with Stephen A's style because Max is very analytical and he can be a little boring sometimes. He can be just a little bit boring.
If you looked at the content emanating in the social stratosphere, meaning YouTube and other components that you use to measure one's cachet, Q ratings, focus groups, all of these different things, it was like I was damn near doing the show by myself because we were oceans apart in terms of cachet. Well, how are you oceans apart from me if you sit right across from me 5 days a week for the whole 2 hours? Because one of us is resonating and one of us is not in that platform.
And the thing about Stephen A. Smith is Stephen A. Smith is loud and he's outspoken. And the thing about Skip, I think that the reason why him and Skip blended so well is that Skip is also outspoken, but Skip also will say some crazy thing that just kind of throws Stephen A. Smith off. So then Stephen A. Smith kind of has to like rebut. It kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, right? Yeah. Because sometimes Skip just has like some weird takes and people are like, Skip, what are you talking about? And Stephen A. Smith is like, what are you talking about? And, it makes it interesting. Yeah. Ultimately, guys, this just speaks to a bigger problem with mass media. And I think that's the reason why people are backing off of mass media now is because it just seems too impersonal. And in the way of ESPN, especially with all the layoffs, I think that they're definitely not headed in a good direction, if I'm being honest. It doesn't seem like they're in a promising direction. It doesn't seem like I'm going to be interested to even tune in, to be honest. But like I said, I'm a casual fan anyway. Right. So what are you going to say? Good decision, bad decision? Stephen A. Smith being honest?
Bad decision.
You going to say bad decision?
There's no need for him to say that, I don't think.
Yeah. He could have kept it to himself.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because it's funny, right? I was going to say good decision at first because, he did take some accountability on his part because part of the reason why it didn't work is that, Stephen A. Smith can't really hide it to save his life because it's Stephen A. Smith. So, I mean, I think it's good that he took accountability. So I'm going to say it's a good decision. He took accountability in this situation, which I like because it's not Max's fault, Because that's something that, like, a company should do testing. You do testing to see, like, okay, do people respond to this? How they respond to that?
They did, though.
They did?
Yeah, you don't remember probably because
Yeah.
I get it. But after Skip left,
Yeah.
they went through a long
Oh,
series of
I got you.
trying
I
out
got
people.
you. Yeah.
So,
I got you.
They did testing.
I got you.
Apparently, they decided. I don't know who
Yeah.
decided it, but they decided it
Yeah.
would work.
It's just such a polar opposite, man.
Yeah.
It's so polar opposite.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like Stephen A. He said in the Joe Budden interview he hadn't spoken to Max since that they left, just high and by,
Yeah.
and that they were never really boys.
Yeah.
There's nothing personal. We weren't enemies or anything. To be real, we ain't spoke since. Other than high and by, or if I had to go on the show when they were doing the morning show, I would get interviewed. But there's been no conversation since, and that's fine with me. That's no problem because it wasn't like we were boys or anything like that.
And in addition to Stephen A. saying he didn't like working with Max, I got the sense that he just didn't really rock with Max that much as a person. He respects Max. I just don't think
He respects him as a peer, but
Yeah.
he's just not someone you would kick it with.
right. He's not someone kicking.
Yeah.
I had mad respect from him from the standpoint that white dude, highly intelligent, Ivy League educated from Columbia, smart as a whip, can talk his ass off, can talk about anything. And I get all of that.
And so that just doesn't help the show.
Yeah.
And
Because listen, I'm a firm believer, to be honest, in being, and not always being super personal with coworkers.
Oh, yeah.
Because that can go wrong really, really quickly.
yeah.
Because when you watch Stephen A. Smith, it's very apparent that he's two different people on ESPN and off ESPN.
Oh yeah.
I think personally
Yes.
that who Stephen A. Smith really is couldn't be around someone like Max for that long, is what I'm thinking.
Interesting. I have to think further about that. But yeah, he's definitely two different people.
Because
I like him better off air.
I mean,
He screams less. He screams too much.
most people like everybody off air. No, that's a lie. I'm lying.
No.
That is a lie because there's some people off air who are a-holes.
But you think I have a point though. I think you're right that most people probably prefer the offline persona.
Because
It's
he's
more
he's more raw.
It's more
he's
raw.
more raw. He's more honest. Even like the few podcasts I've seen him do, he's very chill. Like he's very
That's the key word you
Yeah.
just said. Chill. He's always screaming. I get it. He has a show to
yeah.
put on. But
I mean, it's entertainment, right?
I know
because
you're not screaming everything.
That's true.
Come on, Stephen A.
Yeah, there are sometimes like I'm like, bro, the bass in your voice is just
Too much.
like, you putting that granddaddy bass in there for no reason.
For real.
Yeah, guys. So this has been Bad Decisions. If you think Stephen A. Smith made a good decision, leave a like and leave a comment. If you think he made a bad decision, if you think ESPN is making a bad decision, or if you think they're absolutely, leave a like and leave a comment.